So one thing that's really important to me is being more present in my life and spending more time doing the things that really matter to me. However, lately I've been reflecting on some of the things I wasted too much time on throughout my life. So if, like me, you're trying to live more intentionally, then in this video I'm going to go through 6 things I wasted my time on. And if you think that some of these apply to you too, you can start to work on changing them. So the first thing that I wasted a lot of time on was worrying about what other people thought of me. And this is probably something that took up the majority of my headspace throughout my 20s and early 30s. It could be absolutely crippling at times, and it would paralyze me from making decisions about the things that I wanted to do with my life. This could have been what I ate, what I wore, who I hung out with, all sorts of things. And part of the fear was that I would disappoint people, and also that I would muck up or embarrass myself in some way. But over the years I realized that you are going to disappoint people no matter what you do, and that you are going to make choices that other people don't agree with. You can't make decisions based on what you think other people will think about them, because their feelings and their thoughts about your decision are not your responsibility. You could be making a decision and 2 different people in your life will have 2 very different opinions about it. If you've got people in your life that you trust and respect, I'm not saying that their opinion can't be useful in some way. By all means, have a listen to what other people have to say, but at the end of the day, it's your decision and it's not for other people to make. So the second thing I wasted too much time on was listening to rules from society or culture. And I guess this is where number 1 kind of stemmed from. There's lots of arbitrary rules that fly around, aren't there? I'm not really sure where they come from, but we seem to hear them and assume that they are right. For example, when I was young, it seemed to be the done thing that you would go to college after high school and then go on to university, get a job and get married. Now, when I talk about rules, I'm not talking about obviously the things that help to keep us safe in life. That's not what I'm saying. This is about how we dress, how we should carry ourselves, how much money we should earn in order to be deemed successful in life, how big our house should be, what sort of car we should have. And I don't know if this is because I'm older, but I really give less of a monkeys about all this now. I think back in my 20s, it was something that took a lot of my headspace, and I was more concerned about whether I fit in with what society or culture expected of me, but now I don't care. The third thing I wasted too much time on was buying material things to fix internal problems. I was never a follower of fashion trends, I just liked what I liked. But in my 20s, I did spend a lot of money on buying clothes that I really didn't need, and I think underlying that, it was to try and cope with a sense of not feeling good enough. I was trying to make myself feel better about myself. Of course, all of those nice things made me feel good temporarily, but the feeling never lasted, and I would keep going back through that cycle. So it's always good to ask yourself, if you are drawn to buying particular things, what's the reason behind it? Is there a genuine need for that, or is it trying to satisfy more of an internal problem that needs addressing in another way? The fourth thing I wasted far too much time on was listening to my inner imposter. For many years, I had a strong inner voice that told me I'm not good enough. And there are things that I've not done in life, or things that I've put off doing because I thought I was incapable of doing them. And I guess there are going to be things in life that I'm not able to do for whatever reason. They're just not within my skill set, or there's limitations. For example, I'm never going to be a basketball player. I'm 5'2". I don't think any team would have me. So there is something about recognizing your limitations. But more often than not, we don't know whether we can do a thing unless we actually try and do it. But that imposter syndrome gets in the way and stops us from doing things that we might potentially get a lot of enjoyment from. Is imposter syndrome something that you've struggled with or still struggle with? Let me know down in the comments of the things that you've wasted far too much time on. The fifth thing I wasted too much time on was people whom I should have let go sooner. This goes for relationships and also friendships. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I wasn't at fault, because there's 2 people in a relationship or a friendship. From my perspective, I felt that I was putting a lot of effort into friendships and relationships and not getting much back. It felt like I was chasing people to meet up with them and keep contact with them, and it wasn't reciprocated. And really, I probably should have stepped away sooner and just let those things go. But instead, I carried on trying and getting more and more wound up and feeling worse about myself. And when I reflect on this, I know that these were friendships that maybe really weren't meant to be, because I do have friends now who I don't see for months at a time. And when we do meet up, it's like there's been no gap at all, and we just fall straight back into chatting and catching up, and it's great. So whilst I do think that friendships and relationships, they require effort and work, if it gets to a certain point of effort that you're making and not getting anything back, then maybe it's time to step away and invest your time elsewhere, or with people people where there is a stronger relationship there. The sixth thing that I wasted my time on was not accepting who I am. Now, this isn't about times where I've acted like an idiot and me just saying, oh, that's just who I am, you just have to deal with it. This is about accepting myself for not necessarily fitting in with other people. I don't really feel like I fit in, and sometimes that doesn't feel very good, but I don't necessarily want to fit in. I want to be my own person. I'll admit it, I'm boring. I have the same breakfast every day. I tend to have the same lunch every day. I don't like busy areas. I don't like being around lots of people. I like having quiet time. I know some people would find that strange, but the beauty is that we're all different, aren't we? We all get our pleasure and our energy from different things. And so these days I'm much more accepting of my boringness. I enjoy the simplicity. Why would I want to make it any more complicated than it is? And if you want to find out why bringing more boring into your life will help to reduce your stress and create a richer life, then check out the video that's on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.